Oh well, I hope we're live this morning. Technology. I've never used Be Live before. Wendy introduced me to it last week, so we thought we would go on live today and talk about Lucrative Signature Program. So welcome, Wendy, to our interview.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
So today we're going to talk about Lucrative Signature Programs. Can you start by telling us a little bit about what that is and also how you got to helping people to create their own?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it all started because I did what a lot of people do, which is create online courses, cheaper offers. And if I'm honest, yes, I had some success. I sold them, but it didn't generate enough profit for me to grow a thriving business. And I saw lots of other women doing exactly the same thing and experiencing the same sort of return on investment, selling, but not selling enough to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So I surveyed my audience and I said, okay, what is it that you really want to create? Mm-hmm. What is it that I can help you with? And they said, I gave them a choice of three things. They would like to create a premium signature program.
Right.
And what that is it's not a course. It's not a watered down version of you. It is a premium program, a premium experience that you take a client through that uses the depth and the breadth of your knowledge, your wisdom and expertise to get a very specific result that nobody else can deliver on because they are working with you personally. So it's about working one-to-one and taking someone on a specific journey, not just a bit, I call them the sticking plasters, not just a bit of a process where you have to try and nudge them in to buy something else.
Yeah, one of the things I suggest many of our authors do is to create a signature program, because ultimately when you're writing a book, it's very similar, isn't it? You're taking people on a journey from a problem they're facing to a solution they want to get from it, or a result. And in a way, I suppose that is a slightly watered down version of a lucrative one, because you can only, when you're writing a book, it's very it's not as bespoke obviously as a signature program when you're working one-to-one with somebody, but you can get, you can give people an overview of kind of the steps on the journey, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. They actually fit really nicely together. And I don't actually think, because a book is a solid piece of work, it's not like a course, it's not like something small, someone's really gone deep and in depth in a book. I think either way round you do it is okay.
Yeah.
Whether the book comes first or whether the signature program comes first, it's okay, because it still is based on that.
Oh, I seem to have lost you, Wendy.
To that.
I lost you for a second there, and you've gone a bit paused.
I've gone a bit paused.
Oh, there you are. Okay, so I lost you in the last couple of sentences there.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think it matters whether the book comes first or whether the signature program comes first, because they are based on a different level of expertise, a different experience for the reader and for the expert who's creating the signature program. I think, when you deliver. Sorry, Karen.
I was just going to say, when the signature program comes first, it makes your book easier to write. So whenever I work with any clients on their book, if you've got a starting point and an end point and you're taking people on a journey, I think if you've got your signature program right there, although it's going to be very much evolved depending on who you're working with, I think having it right in the early stages just makes the book easier to write.
Yeah, and I'd agree. You also have more evidence as well, which I think is really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've tested your models, your framework, it works, and it gets results, it sells.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of bonuses to doing it that way around, but you can do it the other way around as well.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote Becoming an Authority, my latest book, I've got 10 principles, which is, I suppose you could call it my signature system, which has been developed from sort of 6 years of working with clients. Again, the evidence, the case studies and things like that. So it's incredibly important to have a process, isn't it, that you take people through. So you work, I know, with coaches, very much like I do, consultants, trainers. Who would you say is best placed to create a lucrative premium signature system or signature program?
I think people who are in learning, development, transformation. So if they're working with clients to get a specific result. So if you're working in a business and you're working with them to get more sales, to increase their income, you will always take people through a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's that process that you can, I don't like the word process, but it's that insight and knowledge that you can put into a signature program that you can repeat time and time again. So, you know, authors, as you said, consultants, anybody who is taking somebody from any business or person from point A to point wherever it is that they want to be.
Can you give me a couple of examples of sort of different types of signature programs you've helped people to create? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but I think it's great to have some examples.
Yeah, so right, let's think of so recently I worked with a woman called Nina, who is a spiritual coach, and spirituality is very broad,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it can feel like it's a bit hard to get hold of. So she created a system which was called Align, and her steps were built around the journey that she would take people through to help them be aligned, on purpose, being able to manage their energy, have better relationships.
Yeah.
So that's one system that was created. What's nice about that is because signature systems are created based on results. So, you know, whatever you're doing with somebody, you were always working towards a transformation and a specific result, which I think is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Caroline from America, she works with female entrepreneurs and she helps them get more sales. So her signature program was called Outshine Eyes, which I absolutely love. Outshine Eyes your competition. It's a hashtag name that she made up. She's had t-shirts, bags, everything made out with that hashtag on it. So it was about bringing her, and she had a depth and breadth of knowledge, wealth, expertise, and she was really struggling to actually simplify what it is that she knew, what she knows, what she knew. I can't think which word it is, works, you know. So how can she strip everything right back and then think about what are the steps that she needs to take them through so they can consistently bring in more sales.
And if it's anything like writing a book, it's also about when you do start to realize the value of what you know, it's the confidence that comes out of it and the clarity of your message and the ability to actually go to networking events and be really clear on what you do, isn't it? I think that they're kind of all of the unexpected benefits that come from both, you know, signature system, writing a book, and both of those.
I think it's really nice when, for the book and for a signature system, is that, you know, you can, in business, you can quite often feel like you're on the outside and everything's a bit overwhelming and it's harder to find your clients. But when you write a book, when you do a signature system, you literally open the door and step inside and you're like, there you are. Brilliant.
So I know you, Wendy, you predominantly work with women who struggle to value their worth and value and charge, you know, what they're worth. Why do you think that women struggle in that area predominantly?
That's a very, very good question. I ask myself this question and ponder on it a lot. I think it changes shape quite a lot.
Yeah.
It is definitely to do with their self-esteem, their confidence, how much value they place on what it is they have to offer, and their relationship with money comes into play a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Money will make or break a business. Money, how you feel about money will make or break a woman in business, for sure. Something just popped into my head then and I've forgotten what it. Come back. Come back. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So I do a thing called a money personality assessment with all of my clients. And what I have noticed is that a lot of women are nurturers and connectors. And they're not necessarily focused in on actually how to make money from the business. It's not their primary, it's not what they lean into, it's not what they're driven, they're desired to do. So there's a lot of nurturers, a lot of connectors, a lot of giving, a lot of giving and sacrificing their own you know, their own business, their own financial security. They'll put everybody else before themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's helping them to really understand that. And I think it comes back to what you said, Karen, which was about when you work with somebody on a book, when you work with someone deeply on a signature system, they start to realize and feel the value of what it is they have to offer.
Yeah.
And that grows, and then they step into it, and they step beyond, you know, those limiting beliefs that they held when they initially started working with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that all the time with people, you know, they think it has to be complex when actually it doesn't. When they actually really start to get to know their own stuff or get to value their own stuff on a deeper level, it makes that real transformation to them and their clients.
Yeah, that's the bit I love. It's that bit.
Yeah. For them or their clients, or a bit of both?
No, that bit when they suddenly go, oh my God, I've really got something here. Yeah, that the awakening bit.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
So what advice would you give to people who, or coaches who, etc., who are thinking about creating a signature program, you know, confidently charging a premium for it? Where do you start with working with these people, and what advice would you give? I know that's a really big question, isn't it?
It is. I'm like, which bit do you want me to start with?
Where do people start? Where do people start with working with you and actually, you know, creating a signature system?
I think, first of all, you have to acknowledge where you're at in your business. You have to be in a place of reality, which means that, you know, are you overworking? Have you got lots of lower price offers? Are you running around like a blue ass fly, but nothing's really happening? So there's that real sense of, actually, I can't continue like this because I'm going to burn out. I'm not going to make enough money in the business to survive. Basically, I'm just going to, thrive. I'm just going to survive. So that's, I guess, I don't know if a ground zero is a very politically correct term, but that's how I always think of it, ground zero. And then it really is about reaching out and having a conversation. Stop looking at all the online stuff. Stop getting all the stuff for free. Stop downloading all the lead magnets that are just going to overwhelm you even further. Just reach out, have a conversation, start talking about possibilities. To really, you know, leverage and help you up level quicker. We both work with mentors consistently. We both work with coaches, and we know, both of us, when we get stuck with something, we actually have a look, see who we think is the best person for us to work with, and then we reach out, have a conversation. And if we like them, we sign up and we start working with them.
Going back to the whole money piece, I remember working with a client many years. It's probably going back about 10 years ago now, and you know, we did the sums. So I was doing, that's before the book mentoring, I was doing business coaching at the time, and we looked at the sums. So we looked at how much she was charging per hour, which is probably about £60 per hour. She looked at the fact that she's got kids, young kids, and we looked at the fact that how many hours would she have to work. And it was a real awakening for her when she realized that actually if she was going to just literally charge by the hour, and that's not including marketing time or anything like that, you know, she just could not achieve it without having something that was going to up level her, you know, that she just couldn't physically do it. And I think the great thing about providing a result as well is being able to help people to get that result. You can work on a much deeper level with people.
Yeah, and I think it's actually a much easier sell as well, because you're going in with a very clear beginning, a middle, and an end with somebody. And as the mentor, it's brilliant because I always know where I am with that person, and I'm always moving them forward, which I think is really important. I hired a coach recently, and I went into a session, and then the first thing they said was, what would you like to be coached on today? And in my brain, I was just going, what? You mean you don't know? I was like, I hate that question. So it cuts out all of that. You know exactly where you are, at what time, and where the client is at what time to get them that result.
So how do people find out more about working with you, Wendy, and creating their own lucrative signature program?
Yeah, so I have a download, which is quick signature program profit secrets, I think it's called. Oops.
Give me the link and I'll pop it under the video. So when I share it out, you know, I'll pop the link under the video.
or they can pop along to my website, which is getclientsonline.co.uk. Booking a call there, that's perfectly fine.
Brilliant. And have you got any advice that you want to give people?
Yeah, I think coming back to your question about where should people start?
Yeah.
And one of the things I didn't mention was about what women really, really struggle with is, as I said, you know, they've got a depth and breadth of expertise and knowledge. It really is about simplifying it and thinking about actually what are the steps that I can take people through to get the results, and to really strip it back. Think about what's the transformation you want people to get, and then the steps. Because we have way too much information to share with people, and we quite often just overwhelm people.
Yeah. And actually the great thing about having the steps is that you can hold all the information in your head. You don't have to overwhelm the client until they need that information. And that's what I love about the book side of things, is that they don't need to know, you know, what they need to do at, you know, month 8. They need to know what they need to do at month 1 until they get to month 8. And that's the thing about having a signature program, isn't it? There's that you can take people on a journey, and you know the next steps, or, you know, or the next possible steps. But they don't need to be overwhelmed with that information.
Exactly. And that makes selling so much easier, because when you sell and when you're in a sales conversation, I know people don't like the word sales, but ultimately that's what we're doing, is that you only ever offer where that person's at. You don't give them everything that's in the system. You just meet that person where they're at. They don't need to know about the rest of it. It's at that moment, it's not important to them. You start going into the other stuff, you'll lose the sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just meet people where they're at, which I love.
Brilliant. So there's loads and loads of advice today. Wendy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Karen. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.